Hello everyone, Dan Lucas from Credo here, and thank you for joining me in the 50 States in 50 Days series. And today we're doing the state of Wisconsin. And so we're on day 30, so Wisconsin was the 30th state admitted to the Union, and it was admitted to the Union on May 29th, 1948, May 29th, 1848. And Wisconsin has some good tax credits and tax incentives. They don't have, I would say, a ton. So, recently we've done states like Iowa, South Carolina, Mississippi. Those have a lot of credits and a lot of incentives. And we've done some other states that have some light incentives. But, Wisconsin has a state income tax, and they have quite a few credits and quite a few good credits. So I would say, they're sort of at a medium-high level of credits. So if you're doing business in Wisconsin, it's definitely something you want to pay attention to overall. But what I want to do is I want to just run through some of the major credits. Their site for the Department of Revenue is very granular and very specific as to different types of credits for different industries and different situations. So it covers a large range of different types of companies, different industries, and different requirements. So I'm going to not have that as the scope on this video for this state. I'm going to go through the major credits, and then if we have to dig deeper, we can do it for you if you would like us to, or you can do it on your own, is to see, just to make sure that your actual industry qualifies. And a lot of them, or most of them, do. So it looks like they might just be excluding a few where that credit may not make sense, or might be in an area where they're trying to curb abuse or something of that nature. But for all intents and purposes, I will just go through the different credits and incentives that I think are going to be useful to you as far as the scope of this video. And then if anything extra, again, we can always go through it in more detail for you if you put a comment in the video or send us a note, send us an email. You can email me at dlucas@credofinance.com or info@credofinance.com, or go to our website at credofinance.com. We can help you with a deeper dive. Okay, so not delaying anymore. The first one I want to talk about in Wisconsin is the angel investment credit, and I love angel investor credits. I think at this point I would say maybe about half of the states have angel investor credits, and so it is what it sounds like. I mean, if you're an investor in a small business, and there's a lot of requirements you have to fulfill, so I'd always recommend that you figure out what those are first, and sometimes you even have to get pre-approval for those. Make sure that before you do think that you might qualify for this angel investor credit, that you in fact do qualify, and that you dot I's and cross T's in the way you do it. But investing in small business in Wisconsin, you're going to want to check out to see if you qualify for that angel investment credit. They have a lot of business development credits, and this is a really wide range of things. There's a lot of different industries that it comes in, but it's basically, if you go on the website, there's a big fact sheet that talks about all of these, but it effectively is, you're going to get credits for effectively hiring people. So it's like a jobs credit. So it's for training costs, it's for hiring costs, it's for investment in personal property like inventory, things like that. So this business credit encompasses a lot of different things, but all of it is targeted towards reinvesting in your business. So people, property, training of people. Let's see if there's anything I missed there. No, I mean, it's really, they have a great 2-page little brochure that talks about the business development credit. But just know, if you're investing in your business, anything to do with people, anything to do with property, inventory, fixed assets, equipment, anything like that, you're going to want to look at this Wisconsin business development credit. Okay. All right. They have a capital gain exclusion for an opportunity zone investment in Wisconsin. So federal income tax the federal tax code also has statutes in it that allow you to defer capital gains if you invest in qualified opportunity zones. Wisconsin also has additional zones in that state in particular, so not just the federal zones, but the state zones. And you can double dip on this, and you can piggyback in Wisconsin and get another credit or another benefit on top of it for these qualified opportunity fund. Now, so that means you can defer federal and state, okay? And it's a lot of different industries, whatnot, I mean, that you can do this. So just know that, I personally love the opportunity zones, not necessarily as a capital gain exclusion, but I like it as a deferral mechanism because you have to hold it a long time to get that full exclusion, but I love it as a deferral mechanism. And then you can take your capital gain and basically push the pause button on it. You don't owe any tax. You put it in one of these funds, and now you're going to pay taxes on your terms. If you don't want to be in the fund, then you get out of the fund and you pay tax, or you roll it into something else that's a tax deferral or a tax exclusion. But don't let yourself get boxed into a corner on capital gains. With capital gains, if you can put it somewhere for now, push the pause button and decide what you want to do with it later, that is always going to be a preferable strategy to just being locked into a taxable event, okay? Unless you know for sure tax rates are going up and you just want to pay the tax. Okay, let's see. They have a college savings account contribution credit. That's not all that typical, believe it or not, for states. Maybe 15 to 20% of the states have something like this in the college savings plan. It could be that you're making tuition payments. It could be that you are contributing to a scholarship fund for the state. These are state by state things. This one in particular is more geared towards employees having a college savings account on payroll for companies. So it's almost like a 401k deduction or healthcare deduction, or what are those other things called? Like the reimbursable expense plans for childcare and stuff like that. But people can have amounts taken out of their check and put toward a college savings account. Now, you can match it. As an employer, you can help them to spur it along. So it's really meant to incentivize people to save for higher education, but also gives you the opportunity as an employer, if you're a business owner, to help your employees and even match some of their contribution. All right, there's a community rehabilitation program credit. We've talked about these in a lot of other videos. This is, taking certain areas that are historic, that you want to preserve, that we want to keep up, that we don't want to let go because they're either landmarks or buildings. And if you are putting money into those to keep them up, everybody knows that's expensive to do. They're going to give you some tax relief on that. Okay, a lot of times they call it historic preservation credits. They have something else called the development zones credit that's similar to the qualified business zone or qualified enterprise zones, but the qualified enterprise zones are more geared toward capital gain deferral and potential exclusion. Development zones credits is going to be more so you're going to get tax incentives, tax savings for a long period of time for actually developing real estate from the ground up in these types of areas. So that's a whole different area. But again, real estate in Wisconsin, if you're in development zones, you're going to be getting to get some tax relief there. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. Let's see. Oh, and one more thing. On the development zones, you can also, it's not just for the real estate, you can also get additional credits. So if you're in a development zone, you can get additional credits for investments in property or investments in people. Okay, so job creation, retention, training, buying fixed assets. If you're in a development zone, you could be in a development zone right now and not even know it and have all kinds of credits that you missed. Okay, so look that up. Look up what the development zones are in Wisconsin. And if you need help with it, let us know. We'll help you with it. But look that up, and you'll be able to see if maybe you're missing credits. I just realized I say Wisconsin kind of like a Midwesterner, don't I? Even though I live in Georgia, because it kind of brings my Chicago out of me a little bit. Wisconsin. All right. They have early stage seed investment credit, similar to the angel investor credit. Again, my advice on this is, because we don't have time to go through it all, if you're investing in businesses in Wisconsin, even if it's in a business of your friends, family, whatever, look this up. Make sure that if it's easy for you to qualify, that you don't miss some of these easy steps to qualify, because I see this all the time where if somebody had just filled out a form before they invested $1 million in something, or 100,000 or 50,000 or 10,000, they could have gotten a credit for it, and it was just really kind of a real just bad misstep, right? This is kind of one of those stupid missteps. So try to avoid that. All right. Again, enterprise zones, lots of jobs credits there. They have a low income housing credit. So if you're invested in a partnership with multifamily homes, or if you are developing multifamily homes, they have some additional tax incentives and tax credits there. Let's see. Manufacturing has some credits. Very broad. There's lots of different credits in the manufacturing area. So if you're in manufacturing, you're going to want to check out this section. There's a whole section about getting credits if you're in the manufacturing business for certain types of situations. Okay. Gosh, there's also more favorable credits for like seed investing and angel investing if it's in a qualified new business. So on the federal side, there's something called qualified small business stock, and I have a separate video that you can find in our library just about qualified small business stock. Get up to a $10 million capital gain exclusion on your federal income tax. They double dip in Wisconsin, and they allow you some more tax benefits on that. That's not typical. I don't see that in a lot of states. So if you're in Wisconsin, again, if you're investing, there's a ton of state credits to help you along there. Don't miss them. Don't ignore the federal credits, especially qualified small business stock credit. Again, I got another video that's totally just on that subject, so just search our library. But if you're in Wisconsin, you need to be looking at all this double dipping you can do. Okay, they also have a research expense credit. We've talked about this in other videos. A lot of times it's called the R&D credit, big federal credit. These credits are 6-7 figures. I mean, these can be big credits, and a lot of people don't even know they have them. This is a big business. There's a lot of firms even popping up just to work on R&D credits, because the volume of credits out there that are unclaimed is enormous. And you can build an entire firm off serving clients, getting them this R&D credit. Okay, so you probably don't know how it's defined unless you understand the tax code. Don't think of R&D how you've typically thought of it. This can also be called a innovation credit. So when I use the word innovation credit instead of R&D, does that spur something in you? Because you might be in the food business and you might have come up with a new recipe or a new way of bottling something, or you might have a new way of preparing tax returns that has a whole new system. That kind of stuff can qualify, believe it or not. Okay, so don't assume that it doesn't qualify. It's worth researching. And in Wisconsin, you can double dip. You can get the state and the federal credit. That's really, really nice. Sometimes that state credit, don't tell anybody, can be more than the federal credit. Okay, so if a state has it, that's awesome. Okay, there's also additional credits to federal historic, the historic rehabilitation credit on the federal level. Wisconsin will let you double dip. They're going to add another one on top of it. So if you're familiar with the federal historic preservation credit, rehabilitation credit, Wisconsin's going to let you double dip. Okay, I mean, Wisconsin has got a lot of double dipping on this. So again, they don't have a huge volume of credits like we've talked about in other areas, but they have very broad and deep credits, and they let you double dip on a lot of federal credits. So I would consider Wisconsin a very business-friendly state. Okay, I want to look at one more area, and that's going to be in the area of research and development credits, because research and development credits can not only be used in Wisconsin against income tax and or corporate tax. They can be used against other types of tax. They allow you to use it against sales and use tax. They allow you to use it against property tax in some circumstances. The research and development credit in Wisconsin is much deeper than it might be in some other states. So whereas some states let you piggyback off the federal credit, Wisconsin lets you go way deeper. Okay, and they have a lot of very specific things you can do in certain industries. You might look up some. You might be in the agriculture industry. You might be in the manufacturing. You might be in printing and advertising. They have very specific things that they're trying to encourage you to do in your business, and they'll give you very good credits for it. when you look at this and you look at all the information as to what qualifies and what they're trying to incentivize you to do, you might get really good ideas. You might look at this and go, wow, I've always thought of doing something like that in my business, but I never saw it really articulated this way, and this is kind of a step-by-step for me. I can do this, and I can get credits in doing it. And a lot of times when you call up some of the state commissions or Chamber of Commerce, et cetera, they even have free programs to help you. They have incubator programs and things like that. So I don't want to dork out too much on all these tax credits and incentives, but I think you'll find a lot of times that when you start looking into this, you'll find all kinds of hidden gems of things you could do, but you'll also find a lot of resources and a lot of ideas for making your business better, okay? So that's it for Wisconsin. At least that is the broad stroke. Again, I wouldn't say you really need to make sure that you're using these videos as an awareness type thing. I'm not really going into huge detail on how to use these credits. I can do that. It's just not, we don't have 5-6 hours per video to do that. So I'm just trying to build some awareness. If anything I said resonated with you, if you think you might qualify for something in this area, please, if you want help, let us know. Give us some comments. Shoot us a question. We're more than happy to dig into things on a case-by-case basis, okay? So thank you so much for watching, and if you're in Wisconsin, I hope that you can find some money. All right, thank you.